Guys, welcome back to another film session breakdown presented to you by the Birdsall Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. I have been out of the country over the last 10 days, so I'm sorry I haven't been able to do some play breakdowns, but shout out to the guys for holding down the podcast over these last 10 days. They've been incredible, really, really insightful podcasts. So I'm excited to break this down finally. You finally saw the Pelicans use Zion Williamson as a screener instead of sticking him in corners and dunker spots. We have been screaming at this for the last 2.5, 3 years that in late game situations, you need to involve your two best players. I don't care whether it's CJ McCollum or Brandon Ingram. As long as those three are involved, I'm fine. And I'm going to show you 5 different clips just strictly from the fourth quarter last night of them using Zion Williamson as a ball screener and resulting in positive results for the offense. First possession, up 5, 8.5 left. Zion Williamson going to sprint the screen. This is good. This is really good space right now. Unfortunately, you don't have really good shooting out there with Dyson Daniels and Herb Jones in the left corner. You notice Valanciunas is spaced out there in the dunker spot. So we screen, we roll, the hesitation, and a beautiful floater from CJ. Let's run this back again. I'm going to be a little picky here. Zion's got to set a better screen here. You got to seal him off a little bit more. The defender gets over here. I would like Zion to take maybe a half a... I know he doesn't want to get a moving screen, but maybe a half a step towards the half-court line to really get this defender to where Markkanen then is playing 2-on-1. But instead, the defender does a decent job of going over, but this is what I love about CJ McCollum. He hesitates like he's about to pass it to Zion. So what does Markkanen do? He's really confused right now. Kessler's doing a good job of coming there in the paint. Dyson Daniels is space, but as you can see, Jordan Clarkson doesn't really care about Dyson Daniels. So CJ hesitates, one dribble, floater. Just because Zion Williamson set a high ball screen and you got Markkanen, he doesn't know. He's confused. That puts a lot of pressure on defenses, and also you have to be able to communicate in a really short span, and CJ McCollum just hesitated. One dribble, floater, 2 points. Double drag. So there's 6:20 left here. We got a double drag screen. Once again, Herb Jones in the right corner. I think it's going to be Dyson in the left corner. So double drag. CJ comes off against Zion. Comes off against Jonas. Jonas rolls hard. So what does that force? It forces Markkanen and Kessler, and I think that's Sexton all in the action, right? So all three of those guys are going to have to communicate who has who. CJ doesn't realizes that he can't get the ball to JV. So what does he do? He simply passes it back to Zion. Now Markkanen's out of position. Right now, he is food. You are not going to stop Zion Williamson. Zion, quick decision, just one dribble, power dribble, and goes up and finishes over Kessler. Once again, this is simply just because you're involving Zion Williamson in a ball screen. JV rolls hard. So CJ comes off, JV rolls hard. You see Markkanen, Kessler, and Sexton all in the action. And then it's too late for Markkanen to close out and get in a proper stance. Right there, he's beat. Zion Williamson all of his momentum is going towards the rim. You're not going to stop that guy with a just downhill straight line drive. Zion anticipating, ready to attack, one dribble, and this is over Kessler. This is one of the best rim protectors in the league, and that's Zion Williamson with a full head of steam finishing over Kessler. It could just really simply be that easy when you just involve Zion Williamson in ball screens. All right, game's starting to get tight. And over the last week, you've been seeing this play set called elbow, which we despise. I absolutely hate it. Usually in elbow, Zion Williamson goes to a corner, is in the short corner. They don't know how to run it. Just put it like that. They don't know how to run it. But this is the type of stuff that you could just simply run for the last 5 minutes of a game, and the defense is not going to know what to do because it's really, really tough to guard. Okay, Collins on Zion. Markkanen on Trey. You got, I believe that's done on Ingram, and then I think it's Larry there in the dunker on the left side. Brandon's going to space. We do a good job of here. You know what I like about real small, but Zion gives a little push off. We go a little floppy screen. Great. Good spacing. Decent screen. Got to be a little bit better. You got to pick him off. I don't want him going over the screen. You got to pick off Sexton, but those are little things that we can correct. That's fine. CJ's going to come off. Look at Collins right here. I'll circle him for you. Collins right here. He knows oh shit, I'm in drop coverage. I'm about to have 2-on-1, especially if Zion picks off Sexton, but he doesn't. CJ attacks it. We're coming, pull back dribble, bam. Once again, CJ reading the floor correctly. He realizes he's got Collins. He's frozen right now. Collins frozen. He's got 2 on the ball. He's done his job. Gets off it quick. And look at all of this room right here on the right on the right junction side here. That's all because you got Trey Murphy spaced out right there. So as you see, Zion Williamson with a straight line drive has proper space because you have a 42% 3-point shooter in the right corner. Marketing knows that. So what can Marketing can't help. Marketing can't help because he's on Trey Murphy. So what does Zion have? He's got a just straight line drive to the rim on Collins. You're going to take this 10 out of 10 times, and probably 10 out of 10 times, the Pelicans are going to result in points. One dribble, it's a foul. Now, you're going to say, we didn't score this possession because he missed both free throws. It's just the process. That's all I want to point out. Yes, he has to hit his free throws, but here's the thing. Zion misses this. Look at where Larry Nance is ready to rebound. So even if Zion were to miss and this wasn't a foul, Larry Nance being in the dunker spot, being properly spaced out, he can now clean that up and result in a dunk right there as well. Instead, we get a foul. Good possession right there. Probably the best possession of the night here. Okay, once again, same action. You got Sexton guarding Brandon now. You got Collins in the action. You got Larry Nance in the right dunker spot. You got Trey Murphy. And then it might be Herb Jones there in the left corner. Okay, so once again, floppy screen. Better screen this time. Now you got 2 on the ball. Against the Grizzlies, we talked about this. Brandon Ingram kept getting doubled, and no one would come to the ball. No one would help him. Okay, if you're gonna double team Brandon Ingram, cool. I'm fine with that. That means you're gonna leave Zion Williamson playing 4-on-3 with a guy in a dunker space who can really shoot. I'm sorry, it's CJ McCollum in the left corner. So this is the options here. Brandon got 2 on the ball, does his job. Now we got Zion in an advantage. Okay, you got Kessler, you got Dunn, you got Markkanen versus Larry Nance, who looked really good last night. Looks like he's 100% healthy. So there's your lob threat in the dunker spot. Right here, Larry Nance in the dunker spot, ready to attack if Kessler comes over here. Then you got 42% here on the right wing, and then you got 40% on the left wing. So technically, Zion Williamson has 4 options. 1, power dribble, try to finish over Kessler. 2, power dribble, lob to Nance. 3, which he does, no dribbles, pass to Trey. Or 4, no dribbles, pass to CJ. Zion catches it. Look at this. Now you're playing 4-on-3. You see, look, Larry Nance is pointing up here. I'm open for the lob. Cool. CJ McCollum, ready to shoot. Trey Murphy, ready to shoot. And look at Zion. Doesn't even dribble. Understanding where his shooters are, where his options are, and this is so simple. Bang. I'm going to let it run in real time just so y'all can see it. But when you break it down like that and you show the different options, this play right here is unstoppable. 2 on the ball. Zion doesn't dribble. Markkanen sinks. Trey hits it. And this is what I'm talking about, guys, because what you're taught, right, is defensively what you want to do if you're playing 4-on-3. Kessler needs to step up. Markkanen needs to drop. And then Dunn is kind of like in no man's land. You probably got to take CJ. So as this happens, Kessler comes up. Markkanen drops. Zion notices. Passes it to Trey. Too late. Could be that easy, guys. All right, sideline out of bounds. I thought this is a possession before, so sorry for the that they're not in order. But once again, it's involving your 2 best players in the same action. Left-hand side. I've been screaming, please just involve Brandon Zion on the left-hand side. Zion strong hand side. Brandon Ingram, we know what he can do from the mid-range. Okay? Simply give it right back to Brandon. Zion step-up screen. See, this is the one thing I have with Zion. This is his best screen of the night. If he would just seal Sexton off and roll as hard as possible right here, he'll either have a dunk or a dump off to Larry Nance for a dunk. Instead, he kind of half-heart rolls. You see how he's standing there? Either way, that's enough space for Brandon to hit. But when the Pelicans and these 2 guys can be elite at is if Zion would step up screen and then bam, roll as hard as possible to the rim, because then Collins is in no man's land. If you get it to Zion, then Kessler's going to have to come over. Markkanen would then have to drop, right? So Markkanen, if we get the ball here to Zion, Kessler would have to come over. If he doesn't, it's a dunk. If Kessler comes over and Markkanen's late, then it's a dunk for Larry. And then if Kessler comes over, Markkanen drops, then you got Herb Jones wide open for 3, which would usually be Trey Murphy, hopefully, in a late game situation. And either way, Brandon comes off. Beautiful left-right jumper. This is what we're talking about here. Involving Zion Williamson's ball screener, correct space with shooters, and have CJ McCollum or Brandon Ingram handling the basketball. I'm perfectly fine with either Brandon or CJ handling the ball, but when Zion Williamson is in the action involved, this set right here is extremely hard to stop because I just showed you options with CJ McCollum, I just showed you options with Brandon Ingram, and every single time they got a really, really good shot. Right here is your money-making set in the crunch time. Fuck elbow, take elbow, literally throw it into the Mississippi River and run this 20 times a game because I guarantee you defenses do not want to see this on a night-to-night basis, especially with Trey Murphy and CJ McCollum as your shooters on the wings. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.